Well, good morning and welcome back to another edition of the Journal. Today I'm heading out toward, I guess it'd be considered Anza, near Garner Valley. And what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be doing a hike on the Southbound Pacific Crest Trail, heading, I guess the closest landmark would be Lookout Mountain. I'm going to be starting just a few miles, maybe not even 2 miles, just east of the Paradise Cafe where the PCT basically spills out. And I'm going to be heading south, and there's no real particular reason for this hike today. I just wanted to get out and get a couple of miles in. I don't have any real destination. There's no real dedicated peak or viewpoint that I'm looking for in particular. I just wanted to get out and break in some new Luna sandals that I got. So I'm looking forward to that. Weather's going to be nice and mostly clear. There are some high-level clouds that are coming in. There is a slight chance, I'm talking slight, chance of a storm, maybe a little bit of snow at the higher elevations, and maybe just a little bit of rain, but you know, to be honest, I kind of doubt it as the way things are going this year. But I'm not too far from the Paradise Cafe, where the 371 highway spills out into Highway 74, and right there on that corner is the Paradise Cafe. So anyway, I've talked about the Paradise Cafe many times. It's a popular spot for people through hiking the PCT. It's a popular drop spot for your bounce boxes, and they've got pretty good food. So anyway, once I get to the Paradise Cafe, I'm going to make a right onto Highway 74, and I'm going to pull over and park at a trailhead that I've been to before. In fact, it's the same trailhead when I went to the northbound PCT and the Gold Shot Mine. So anyway, I'm coming up on it. It's coming up right here, so we'll be there in a second. Well, good morning. Today's edition of the Hiking Journal, I'm going to be hiking southbound on the Pacific Crest Trail, right where the Pacific Crest Trail crosses Highway 74, which is right behind me. If you go this way, you're going to be heading basically northbound on the Pacific Crest Trail toward Idlewild and toward the San Jacinto Range. Heading this way, you're heading toward Warner Springs and eventually the Anza Desert. So I don't really have a plan in mind today. I'm just going to hike southbound on the PCT and take in the sights, look at some wildflowers, maybe rustle up a snake or two, and going to experiment a little bit with some new gear that I have. It's not new, it's old, really old, but I think you'll enjoy it. I mean, that'll all be coming up in this edition of the Journal as I hike southbound on the PCT toward Lookout Mountain. That'll all be coming up next in this edition of the Journal. Stay tuned. Well, I'm just now starting southbound on the Pacific Crest Trail. Like I said, I don't really have any destination in mind. I'm just gonna hike along, break in my sandals, enjoy the scenic views along the Pacific Crest Trail. Looks like it's gonna be a nice day. It's a little chilly right now. It's a little colder than I thought it was gonna be. It's in the low 40s. I know there's a slight possibility of a storm coming in, but to be honest, I don't think we're gonna have any rain at all out of this system, but hopefully it'll keep the temperatures down. I told my wife, you know, I'm not bringing a jacket, I'm wearing shorts and sandals. You know, I've only hiked a few minutes on the trail, on the Southbound Pacific Crest Trail, and I just crossed over Highway 74, which is down there, and in fact, off in the distance, you see that dirt parking lot. The Jeep is parked right there. And just in this short amount of time, I've already passed 3 PCT Thru-Hikers, 2 girls that were from the UK, and then another guy just passed me a few minutes ago. In fact, he might pop out of the trees along the trail down there in a minute. The girls, they were heading over to the Paradise Cafe, and then they were hitching into Idlewild. Take a 0-day up there. Don't blame them. It's a good spot. It's pretty up there. Great spot to get a room, too. There's lots of Airbnbs and lots of inns and motel rooms up there, so it's a great spot. And this is the beginning of the climb up to San Jacinto. That's San Jacinto Peak over there in the distance. That's 10,834 feet. That's the highest spot in the range. And once they cross the road here and start working their way up, they've got a serious climb over the next several days. There's a storm coming in, maybe a storm, we'll see. They always overestimated, it seems like, so I kind of doubt it. But there was a snow chance at the upper elevations. I kind of doubt it's going to happen. In fact, there's that guy I was telling you about. Let's see if you can see him down there along the trail working his way. He's almost at the road now. But anyway, after that, it's going to get really hot. It's supposed to be almost 100. And it's getting kind of late in the year to be heading northbound Pacific Crest Trail now. At this point in the year, you should be well past this area here. You should be into Big Bear and even further toward Tehachapi by now. You have to time it just right so you can make Kennedy Meadows and the High Sierras as the snow is melting. You don't want to get there too early. You have to post hole. And you don't want to be too late because then you'll be stuck hiking in the desert in the heat. So anyway, I'm going to be continuing southbound on the Pacific Crest Trail and just kind of meandering around, heading up toward Lookout Mountain. Well, I passed another through hiker. And it looks like as I'm coming to the top of this little rise, looks like I might have a pretty decent view looking south. There are some nice looking cactus along the trail. Hopefully I'll see a little bit of wildflowers. Haven't really seen a whole lot yet. Might have missed the window. It's okay. You can barely see the top of the Hill Telescope in the distance. There's some pretty good vapor trails heading up. It's going to be a crystal clear day today. It's going to be great. Well, there's a very large Spanish bayonet. But what I wanted to show you is the cactus are plumping up. Looks like they're going to be blooming here shortly. There is a little bit of color here, not a lot, but some. Well, that way off in the distance, that's Cohia Mountain. And that's a whole Anza Valley down there. And the Palomar Range is off to the far left. Some nice open expanses here. A lot of ranch lands in this area. So I'm hiking southbound on the Pacific Crest Trail. And no reason in particular. I'm just out here, checking to see what this section looks like. Never been out here before. One of the main reasons I've come out here today, not only is it to, explore a section I haven't done, but it'd be kind of nice to run into some PCT Thru-Hikers. I've just passed. Oh, there's somebody right there. Right. How you doing? Shooting a video here. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking to the devil. There they are. But anyway, the reason I'm out here was I'm just exploring a section of the PCT, and I'm breaking in some new footwear today on this edition of the journal. I'm doing my inaugural first hike in my Luna Mono trail sandals. I know this is my 4th pair of Lunas. And hey, how's it going? Good morning. Let me get out of your way here. Oh, there you go. All right. This is kind of a busy section. Anyway, I'm just doing an inaugural break-in of my Luna sandals, so I'm gonna get going here so I can block the trail for the next PCT Thru-Hiker that comes through. That's kind of funny, huh? But anyway, we're gonna keep going this way, and eventually I'll get around to talking more about my Lunas. That was kind of fun. I'm like the one-man traffic jam on the Pacific Crest Trail. I got to this corner and I could kind of see down a ways. I was trying to make sure that there wasn't anybody, coming. And I was looking at the camera and I was like, wait, there's somebody behind me. That was kind of funny. And then of course another guy came. So I guess I'm holding up the traffic for everyone along the Pacific Crest Trail. So anyway, well, here's a little pop of color. I'll take a little short video of this. You'll like this. I've come to this overlook on the Southbound P.C.T. and have a view looking south way down toward eventually Anza Borrego off in the distance. It's a stunning day out here today. noticed this from a couple of miles back. I'm curious as to what that is up there. That's a huge antenna farm with a road with a chain link fence. Almost looks like a military installation. And then down below here, it looks like you've got a lot of farm equipment. Several homes down there. Maybe a nursery of some kind? I can't really tell. I don't see any plants growing. I don't know. It's just kind of strange. Well, I hiked about almost 4 miles south on the Pacific Crest Trail and got to a spot that had a significant drop off. I was told about it by another PCT Thru-Hiker, and he said after that there's really no good spots, you know, to set up for like a little picnic lunch. So I decided to turn around there and work my way back. Passed a really nice site up here on the way in, and it's in the shade, it's out of the wind. Looks like a perfect spot for lunch. So I'm gonna work my way back over there, take a little break in the shade, and pull out some of my vintage hiking gear and make lunch here along the PCT. Now I'm going northbound. Well, I made this little lunch stop along the PCT here to just get some lunch. I'm gonna have some Backpacker's Pantry Louisiana red beans and rice. I'm cooking it on this old Optimus 8-hour backpack stove, probably from early 1970s. So I've got it heating up here so I can cook my red beans and rice. In the meantime, I hauled this up here today. It's called Lounging Iguanas Hazy IPA. This ought to be good today. It's a perfect day out here. It's nice and cool. It's got a nice breeze. Sun is getting a little warmer, so it's kind of nice to be out of the wind and out of the sun for a few minutes while this heats up so I can make my lunch. And I only hiked in about 4 miles off Highway 74 to an overlook, took some pictures, and now I'm working my way back. So I'm about probably 3 miles from the car. But in the meantime, I'm gonna wait for that to heat up. I'm gonna have my Louisiana red beans and rice and my Iguana Hazy IPA. And this little campsite that I'm at, about 6 people have already come by on the PCT. They're all going north. They're all dreaming of Paradise Cafe and their bacon cheeseburgers. I don't blame them. Their food's pretty good there. In the meantime, I got to keep an eye on my pot here. It's getting ready to boil. Now this stove, this Optimus 8R, is probably, you won't be able to see it burning, but this thing is probably from about 1973. And it burns white gas, which is not pressurized in that tank. It's got a little fuel reservoir down at the bottom. You put a little bit of white gas or alcohol in there, some fuel priming paste. You let that burn for about a minute or two. It heats up the generator tube, and then when you turn the valve for the tank, white gas flows into that cup. Oh, there goes the windscreen, and then ignites the vapor. And I think I'm at a rolling boil. So I gotta get the key over here, turn this sucker off, and there we go. It's my Optimus 8-hour backpack stove. Well, I'm going to heat up my Louisiana red rice and beans. I kind of estimated how much water I was going to need. It said 1.5 cups, so about 10 ounces. Oops. Don't leave the lid there. Well, I have to wait about 8 minutes for this red beans and rice to hydrate. So in the meantime, I'm just going to sit here in the shade, enjoy my beer. Say hi to some northbound PCT Thru-Hikers. There's been a group of 4, solo female and a solo man. It just came through here, probably all within the last 5 minutes. So I can't believe there's this much traffic in mid-May. I thought this was more of a late March all the way through April kind of deal. But there's a lot of people still heading northbound. So hopefully they'll get up and over San Jacinto no problem, which I'm sure they will. And then they'll get through that desert section as they work their way up through the, Santa Snow Monument, which is by Whitewater Preserve on its way up toward Big Bear and San Gorgonio as it works its way to the PCT, and eventually works its way down around the creek down there by the hot springs. But oh, here comes another through hiker. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing good, doing good. Just taking a break here, having lunch.
That's a good
Not
idea.
doing the whole thing, just out here for the day. Yeah. Where you headed today?
Probably Paradise Valley Cafe, and then we'll see where after.
Yeah.
Get some food.
Yeah. Go have a burger and a beer for me.
For sure. Have a good one.
All righty, take care. That was another PCT Thru-Hiker. He's heading to the Paradise Cafe. We're doing booming business today. Well, I think it's been long enough. I got to test out these Louisiana rice and beans. You know, it's funny because I don't normally buy these, the Backpackers Pantry. I buy Backpackers Pantry, but not the rice and beans. And they're a little too spicy for me, but they were on clearance at the Walmart by my house. And I've never, ever seen anything from Mountain House or Backpackers Pantry on clearance. And these are normally like $8, and these are only $3.50. So I thought it was worth a shot. I don't know if I would take the risk of buying them and hauling them out there in a backpack trip, but just a little day hike might not be too bad. You probably give it another minute or two. Yeah, and they are spicy, believe it or not. If I didn't live so close to the PCT, I'd go to the Paradise Cafe with the rest of those guys and have a cheeseburger and a beer. You know, I stopped here at this spot for lunch, and the bees have found me. They were swarming around my canteen looking for water, and they were landed on me and landed on my hands. And I thought, oh well, maybe I'll just hurry up and eat and get out of here. Well, there's a horned lizard. I didn't quite. He's looking at me there. Well, there's a great shot of San Jacinto and the San Jacinto Divide from the northbound PCT before you get to Highway 74 and you start northbound on the other side. Well, here's some wild cucumber, even though it doesn't look like cucumber. That's what it's called. Now, if you're heading northbound on the PCT, you're going to eventually head to over to the Paradise Cafe. You can take a left here, and this is a kind of a power line road. It goes right to it, and then you can tell the girl that was ahead of me on the PCT, she's taking a shortcut. Well, my hike for today is over. I went ahead and went about 4 miles, almost 4 miles, 3.5 miles. Down the Pacific Crest Trail southbound from Highway 74, which is where I'm at now. PCT spits out right here, but there's a through hiker right there. Anyway, I'm heading down toward the Paradise Cafe. Unfortunately, I'm not going to stop there for lunch because I only live like 45 minutes away. So, but I'm going to enjoy the scenery. If I see anybody between here and there that needs a lift, I'll be sure to pick them up, give them a ride. But it was a great day out here in the Anza Valley, right before I hit the San Jacinto Divide. The Jeep, gotta give them the Jeep wave. But Paradise Cafe is right up here, and I'm sure everybody that's been hiking on the PCT is going to enjoy that burger and beer. Anyway, I'll be making a turn here in a minute. I'll be heading home. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Hiking Journal. In the next episode, I'll be out in Yosemite. We're going to be going out to Wawona. That'll be an exciting trip. Anyway, I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye. Well, that'll do it for this edition of the Journal, my hike on the Southbound Pacific Crest Trail from Highway 74. In the next edition of the Journal, I'm heading back out to Yosemite National Park with Dave and Jerry. We got a last-minute campsite at the Wawona campground. A little window opened up, and I snagged a couple of days at the Wawona campsite just inside Yosemite National Park. And since we only have basically one full day, we decided we were going to do a hike to one of the lesser-known waterfalls in Yosemite called Chilnu-Alna Falls. And since we have some extra time to kill, we also do a little hike to the Swinging Bridge, and it's not the Swinging Bridge in the valley of Yosemite, it's the Swinging Bridge in Wawona. And we also do a little lap through the Mariposa Grove of giant redwoods. And that'll all be coming up next in this edition of the Journal. Be sure and click the like button and subscribe to the channel so you get the latest editions as I post them. All right, take care, and I'll see you down the trail. Bye-bye.